Something very unusual is happening today, and no one seems to be talking about it out loud. But behind the quiet statements, the denials, and the half-answers from both Washington and Ottawa, there's something far bigger unfolding. I've been digging into the sudden shift that's shaken both sides of the border, and from everything that's surfacing, this could change the balance of power between the US and Canada for years to come. At first glance, it just looks like another set of energy meetings, routine, dull, predictable. But this time, something's off. The tone, the timing, the faces involved. And then, the leak started. Anonymous officials hinting that Prime Minister Mark Carney had just done something unprecedented, something even the Americans didn't see coming. It's being whispered that Carney quietly set into motion what insiders are calling an energy alliance. No one's using that term publicly yet, but the way the chatter's spreading, it's clear this isn't just a domestic energy policy tweak. This sounds like a coalition, one that could pull multiple countries together under a single North American framework, but not led by Washington. Now, here's where things get strange. Normally, when anything like this happens, the US would be the first to issue a statement. But Trump's team? Silent. For almost a full day. And when they did speak, it wasn't through the usual diplomatic channels. It was through social media posts full of frustration, calling out what they described as unfair coordination behind closed doors. Unfair coordination. Think about that wording. That's not the phrase you use if you're calm. That's what you say when you've just been blindsided. Sources in Ottawa are saying Carney's move was months in the making, and that the deal involved not just Alberta and Saskatchewan, but even provinces that had previously opposed deeper cooperation on resource sharing. Apparently, something changed. Suddenly, provinces that couldn't agree on carbon pricing or export routes are aligning under one banner. And here's where the suspense really builds. No one knows who initiated it. Some insiders claim it was Alberta Premier Danielle Smith who first pitched the idea in private talks, pushing for what she called a united energy front. Others insist it came straight from Carney's office after a confidential economic briefing that reportedly showed how US tariffs were quietly crippling Canadian exporters. Now think about the implications if that's true. If Canada's Prime Minister managed to bring the provinces together into one powerful energy bloc, and he did it without consulting Washington, that's not just policy. That's power. That's leverage. And from what's leaking out of the White House, Trump's aides were furious. Apparently, one senior official even called it a betrayal in broad daylight, claiming that Carney was trying to redraw the map of North American energy. The language sounds exaggerated, but the reaction? That's what's making people pay attention. Because let's be honest, the US has always seen itself as the center of North America's energy game. Every deal, every price shift, every export plan has to run through Washington first. But if Carney just created an alliance that lets Canada negotiate energy terms directly with other partners, bypassing traditional US oversight, that's a major shift. One that could hit American oil markets, pipeline operators, and even election politics. There's even talk that Trump's advisors held an emergency meeting to assess whether the so-called energy alliance could undercut US energy independence. They're reportedly worried it might give Canada and its allies control over a massive portion of the critical mineral supply chain, the same one the US has been trying to secure for years. But here's the thing, none of this is being confirmed. Officially, both sides are denying there's any new alliance at all. The statements are vague, phrases like ongoing cooperation, mutual understanding, shared objectives. Diplomatic language that means absolutely nothing and everything at the same time. Meanwhile, investors are already reacting. There's been an unexpected surge in Canadian energy stocks, especially in sectors tied to renewables and cross-border trade routes. No one's saying why, but when you see patterns like that, you can tell someone knows something before the public does. And there's one more layer. Reports are circulating that a handful of European energy firms have suddenly shown interest in long-term contracts with Alberta and Saskatchewan, bypassing the traditional US intermediaries. If those deals are real, and that's still a big if, they could signal that the energy alliance isn't just an idea. It's already active. Now, let's look at what this could mean politically. Carney's critics have long accused him of being too globalist, too tied to international markets. But if this alliance solidifies, he'll be painted as the architect of a new economic order, one that places Canada at the center of an energy triangle stretching between Europe, Asia, and North America. And Trump? He won't take that quietly. Already, whispers from Washington suggest that trade retaliation is on the table. Some analysts believe this could spiral into a full-scale energy confrontation, not a physical one, but a strategic one. Competing tariffs, redirected exports, even manipulated production levels. The kind of economic chess match that can quietly cripple markets without anyone firing a shot. What makes this story so gripping is the silence. No press conferences, no flashy signatures, no televised handshake moments. Just a ripple of quiet moves, one after another, until suddenly, the world shifts. And yet, there's still no concrete proof. Only patterns, behaviors, and reactions. But sometimes, that's all you need to see the truth forming beneath the surface. Because when governments start using phrases like strategic partnership and cross-border framework, and when powerful nations suddenly stop smiling in joint photos, that's not coincidence. That's tension. Trump's team reportedly feels this was a setup, that Carney moved first, knowing the U.S. election cycle would keep Washington distracted. Some even claim internal memos circulated in the White House warning that Canadian consolidation could become the greatest energy realignment in modern history. Now, are those memos real? No one's showing them publicly. But if they exist, it means Trump's advisors believe this isn't just another trade hiccup. It's a calculated maneuver. And that's exactly why everyone's watching what happens next. Behind all this, something even deeper might be unfolding. Some policy experts suspect this energy alliance is about more than oil, gas, or power grids. They think it's about data, control over smart energy infrastructure, digital grids, and carbon tracking systems that could define global trade rules for decades. If that's true, it's not just an alliance. It's a quiet revolution. Still, both governments insist everything's fine. Business as usual. But if you listen closely to how they're saying it, you can hear the cracks. Short answers, nervous smiles, shifting talking points. The kind of responses politicians give when they're trying not to confirm something that's already half exposed. And that's where we are right now, the calm before the storm. If Carney's energy alliance is real, it could position Canada as the center of a new energy order. If it's not, then someone's doing a masterful job of making it look that way. And that illusion alone is shaking markets and rattling Washington. Whatever the truth is, both sides are playing this carefully. Too carefully. Which tells us one thing. Something big is at stake, something neither side wants to admit yet. And when the truth does break, whether it's days or weeks from now, it could rewrite the future of North American politics, trade, and power forever. Until then, all we can do is watch closely, because the energy map we've known for decades might already be changing behind closed doors. And if that's the case, then history is being written right now, quietly, strategically, and without anyone daring to say it out loud.